Well, this week's Bushel Up, I want to start off with a quick reset of where we're at GDU-wise. For those of you that plan around that May 1st window, right here in Central Nebraska, Aurora, Central City, we're at that 700 to 750 GDU range. Obviously, if you're south, you can add a few. If you're north, subtract a few. If you planted that April 15th, maybe middle of April, you only picked up about 100 GDUs in those 15 days. If you remember, we're cooler. So you're about 800 GDUs or so, which really means we're at that V7, V8 corn. We're hitting that rapid growth stage. You know, I look here, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got my 7th collar showing. This is from my Central City field planted May 1st. Crop development right on stage with where I'd expect GDU-wise. What's that mean? That means hopefully you have all your herbicides on first and foremost. If you're still cleaning up some messes, please look at drop nozzles. We get very concerned about the whirl here. We're starting to see some of our ear leaf type formation, that ear node where we're going to have that potentially. So if we go over the top here much later, we can cause some significant injury. Look at your labels. Products like Liberty, even your Roundups are starting to become off-label because of potential crop injury, and that's the last thing we want to see. So know your stage, know your herbicides and what your labels are. I know nobody wants to use drop nozzles, but that may be what we have to go to if you have some late issues. Secondly, we're starting some fungicide applications. We just put our fungicide on this plant actually yesterday. We like the overlay, just like the overlay residuals on herbicides. We love to overlay our fungicides, so we go anywhere from that V7 to V10 range. We like the fact that we got full coverage on this plant, so I don't have to worry about disease firing from the ground up. I got that protection against those diseases, and then I'm also protecting these top leaves that are eventually going to become my ear leaf or the leaf below, which are the important zone that we want to protect. So some of you might consider that, start looking early. Also, I just love the plant health benefit. Most importantly, slow these plants down, help close that stomata. We just had a meeting where we met with some of our reps, and you know, you can save up to 1 inch, 2 inches of water just by slowing down that stomata opening and all that respiration that happens. Take a guy like me, I sweat. I get out last week and you know, 6-7 bottles of water a day just to keep a guy like me hydrated. That's what that plant goes through, so we want to help that you know, hold some of that water in the plant. When we look at our soybeans, kind of the same deal. I have quite a bit of flowering. I showed these last week. You look at some of my soybean plants. What I really love here is I can see the benefits of my realized treatment. I've got all kinds of branching. This plant's got stacked nodes, which I like for later on. I'm not going to run into that lodging, and now I'm starting to bloom, so I made sure we were a little bit late yesterday. Got our final application of Enlist on this. These are E3 beans, and got our residual down. I'm spinning the pivot today. No chance of rain in the forecast, so we got the pivot, water, and that residual herbicide in. Just kind of the simple things to make everything work, but we also put some fungicide on here, starting to protect these plants. One thing I would talk about, you know, you can see I've got some leaf burn from my earlier herbicide applications. You know, we've had to really watch our surfactant loads. Cooler this week. Definitely enjoying these last 2 mornings versus last week. But watch your daytime temperatures. Please reach out to us. I encourage our guys to call the reps, the people that live this day in and day out. If you're just doing one-size-fits-all surfactant, you really should be adjusting that based on growing conditions, temperature. Try to reduce as much burn and phyto, but yet still have enough to get the job done on killing weeds. Finally, just again remind everybody to stay safe. Next week, I'm going to take a couple days off here into this week to go to a graduation, but looking forward to coming back next week. We've got 3 grower meetings that you'll see information for. They're just going to be really laid back. We're going to talk about what you guys are seeing, what your concerns are as growers, and then we'll talk about what we're seeing, just kind of some exchange of information, kind of reset the bar. I like to think that we're entering the 3rd quarter. This kind of, we've done our work prior to this rapid vegetative growth. Now what do we do as we enter the reproductive stage? And for me, I did some projections. It looks like I'll probably be seeing tassel somewhere in that July 6th to 10th range. That's probably where we'll be seeing most 113-day hybrid around that May 1st timeline, you're probably looking at that July 9th, 10th to see some tassels. So we'll start thinking ahead, talk about some of those things, but most importantly, look forward to seeing you in person, just interacting. It'll be low key. We just like to shoot the breeze a little bit and just talk about agronomy.